all your school rugby, all in one place. This is Next Gen 50.
So we come to the end then of the Oakland World Schools Festival, and what a festival it's been. And hopefully it'll continue to be a festival after this match, because it's a big game between Paarl Boys High and Christchurch Boys High from New Zealand. That's the Christchurch Boys High team, captained by their scrum half Louis Chapman and Reece Archibald, their coach. And it's a big game for them. They perhaps would be a little bit disappointed with some of their performance in this particular week, but they certainly would like to finish this game with a flourish. They know they're playing against South Africa's traditional number one school, or it was in 2017. It might not be the same going forward, but certainly they want to try and give absolutely everything they've got. Adrian Alberts captains this Paarl Boys High team that were quite disappointing the other day, and they're the replacements. So we wait for the teams to come out now. The Christchurch team as the visiting team. And it's a pleasure having alongside me today as well New Zealander Wayne Taylor to actually work our way through this game. And Wayne, it's been a wonderful spectacle this week. We have an opportunity to reflect right now a little bit on the week as a whole before we get into this game. And as a relative outsider, although you've lived in this country for a long time now, I'm sure is something that's impressed you.
Yeah, it's definitely impressed me, Gavin, and you can see it as the week's grown on here. You can see the camaraderie on the field now, with the tunnel almost extending from one side to the other, and teams all supporting each other. It's been a fantastic spectacle for rugby, and the friendships bonded here will last a lifetime.
We just wonder sometimes as South Africans too whether you have the same amount of elation and friendship and enjoyment in schools rugby in other countries, and I guess it would be a silly question to ask you if that's the case in New Zealand.
No, definitely. You can see in the South African teams, they have their chants and things they do on the sideline, and the whole school getting behind what's happening, which is amazing to see. And in New Zealand, you would see a similar thing, but probably the supporting school in behind would be doing a haka, or often you'd see the team doing the haka, and then back beyond them, you may be 100 or 200 other members of the school doing a supporting haka as well. And it's just amazing to see. You don't see it at the top level.
Are we going to see a haka from the Christchurch Boys now?
We are.
Well, a wonderful rendition of the haka there from Christchurch Boys High School. And for our international audience too, I'm pretty sure, Wayne, that they would love an explanation of the haka. Why the haka? Where does it come from?
Yeah, it's representing the ancestors and those that have come before them. It's largely influenced by the area that they're in, or the iwi or tribe that may be influencing that area. It's fantastic. New Zealanders have embraced that Maori culture, and you'll see it throughout the schools now. And And particularly with the teams, you've seen Kapua has been introduced into the All Blacks, which is only performed by the All Blacks, and the same for each of the schools as well.
Zwengeli Jadazweni, one of our up-and-coming referees in South Africa, will take charge as we have our Tag Heuer countdown to get this game underway. Then Callum Moody, the fly half for Christchurch, and the big last game then of this Oakland World Schools Festival. Are we going to see a game of great speciality here today as Vian van der Sant gets his kick downfield? And that's well, I was just going to say a pretty good start, but that ball was from outside that 22, so they'll come back now for the line out.
Yeah, not sure if he's anticipating putting that ball out or just misjudged the wind there as well. And a bit of a stronger breeze blowing into our faces here.
Yeah, the breeze is really quite tough. So first opportunity here for Parani with his throw-in and the line-out for Christchurch, the young hooker. You'll see a lot of energy in this game. You'll see a lot of adrenaline pumping in these early stages of this match. Paarl Boys High really want to show their supporters that they're not going to lose 2 matches in one tournament.
Yeah, the referee putting his mark on the game very early and indicating that he wants clear release and wants a flowing game coming in there.
He's an ideal fella to have for a school game as well. Zwengeli Jadazweni loves to play advantage. He likes to keep the game going. It's a wonderful kick that. And this might be the order of the day here as well from Paarl Boys High, to play down in this corner as you look at it on the right-hand side of your screen, where the wind is essentially blowing towards. So largely speaking, Paarl Boys High have the wind at their back. Knock on that occasion coming from Evan Roos. Christchurch now, that's part of the difficulty that they'll have. They won't be wanting to kick into this very heavy wind. They'll be looking to carry the ball up if they can. They'll want to make sure of a high level of accuracy.
Just lost forward in contact there, and the referee coming back for the first infringement. Paarl Boys showing their clear intent off the first line out and hitting a runner at pace, and unfortunately losing the ball in contact, but they made their intentions pretty clear.
So the put-in will belong to the captain of Christchurch, Lee Chapman.
Lee Chapman also head boy for the college and captain the cricket team as well.
Good to you, good all-rounder. You've got 1 or 2 famous players in this team as well, don't you?
Yeah, we do. We've got Brigham Riwai Couch, and his grandfather was a famous All Black pen couch, who also went on to be a politician and toured with the All Blacks in 1949 and was denied entry as a Maori. And for his family, he's come back here to represent his family and present an All Black tie to his opposite with Paarl Boys today.
That's wonderful. Great gesture that. Shows the nobleness of the sport of rugby.
You mentioned Sir Brian Lahore earlier on, who played for Warrapa Bush, and so did Ben Couch. So there's a bit of history there. My home valley.
It's your home valley, that one. Not your current one, but your traditional one.
And again, we're looking for intent from Christchurch Boys here. Are they intending on running this out, or do they have an exit strategy to make sure that they're putting Paarl Boys well back in their own half?
What has impressed me this week in the previous game that they did play was Callum Moody's efforts at fly half as well. Having played in that position, I watched him closely, and he's got really good talent. The big question here is, I think that the Paarl Boys High forward pack is a little bit bigger than Christchurch, and how well can the visitors stand up front?
Yeah, we've got an immediate indication of that strength and power from the Paarl Boys, and they want to muscle up at the breakdown, particularly in set piece, making it very difficult for Christchurch to secure their own ball.
So Vian van der Sant, who's the scrum half for Paarl Boys High. He's got Simon Carsten at fly half. 2 very, very strong centre 3/4 in AJ Johnson and Trent Siverson, who played really well in their previous game. Now some good running. This is Siverson. Van der Sant. Oh, thought the ball was taken away, but it's a penalty to Paarl Boys High in a very kickable position.
Yeah, possibly unlucky there, just an interpretation of whether the ball was still in the ruck or out. Good decision by referee.
So it's going to be Trent Sivertson. He's a very accurate goal kicker who will take charge of the kicking duties.
Paarl Boys off, also showing a bit of respect to the Christchurch Boys and understanding that they need to take points while they're on offer rather than just assuming they can kick the corner, especially with this wind.
Just saw in picture there Sean Erasmus, the coach of Paarl Boys High, long-standing coach of Paarl Boys High and South African schools. Just the 2 steps from Trent Sivertson, and he's got it over. So first blood then to Paarl Boys High.
Opportunity for a restart now here with Christchurch Boys and to push their way back into Paarl Boys half. It's be interesting to see which way they kick, if they're going to hold it up in the wind or wanting to trap them down in their corner with a good kick chase.
So a kick from Callum Moody. And taken forward there on that occasion by Christchurch, who've held on to it. The referee says there was a knock on a little bit earlier, so there's a little bit of chatter that's going on the field there.
Yeah, Christchurch Boys a little bit lucky there to have had that knock on, but very evident the intent of Paarl Boys is going to get underneath the ball and gang tackle, hold the player up off the ground, force a turnover. Christchurch Boys going to need to be conscious of that, to get the ball to the ground with a quick clean and secure the ball.
So first receiver looking to receive the ball could well be Ollie Lewis. Standing quite flat, but it's Paarl Boys High come away with it now. Excellent play from them. Back in field they go. Some good work there from Carlo Les. And equally too, on that occasion, from the captain, Adrian Alberts, to set that ball up. Boys High, down the line it goes. They've also got a really pacey man on the left wing there, Xavier Farmer.
Good defence by Christchurch there, good communication, holding them on the same line and just pushing their players across, not panicking and just talking through.
So Clayton Baroni with the throw in. Paarl Boys High at the moment with 72% of the possession in this game. Christchurch will want to string a few phases together if they can. Well, it looked like it could have been a fairly decent little pop pass, but the turnover just applies a little bit more pressure now onto Christchurch Boys High, with Horn taking that in. And in the fly-off position, Simon Carsten trying to ignite the bigger boys in the midfield to carry it up. One of those big boys is Horn, who's rocking the scrum with Adrian Alberts. Back in field goes Carsten, but absolutely no way through there at the moment. There certainly is a titanic battle up front there at the breakdown points. Horn, lovely play from the number 5.
Paarl Boys definitely using their big boys to try and get some momentum and to create quick balls so they get in behind that defence.
And there's a lot of them too. Having said that, Horn was the last carrier of the ball. Breakdown point there. It's a contest there. Have Christchurch managed to turn that over?
Opportunity out to the right-hand side with some quick hands.
Yeah, and they've got the numbers there. This is excellent running now. Downfield they go. It's Harding with the ball. Decides to go on his own. He had the speedy Riwai Lush outside him, but now they come the other way. Which way does this bounce? And not quite going to hand there for McKeown. But some enterprising play and a wonderful break there by George Harding.
Yeah, the final execution not quite accurate enough, but some exciting play there and the ability to break the line. Just didn't quite find the support runners on the far side, and then The last pass not going to hand.
Well, it just shows you the value of a turnover too. So they've travelled some distance upfield, have Christchurch rather. Churchill is a school in Zimbabwe, in Harare. Churchill High, also a fantastic school. And a fantastic rugby school too.
Head coach for Christchurch Boys High School, Reece Archibald, an experienced coach, did well with Palmerston North Boys High School, and he's coached at representative level with the with the Manawatu Turbos, and now back at schoolboy rugby level.
Van der Sant not asked to pick that ball up at the back of the scrum. It's a very, very good carry that on that occasion by AJ Johnson.
Great steal there by Christchurch Boys. Opportunity again.
They've turned over once again. Yeah, they've turned it over now. Again, it's the width of the field use, and again it's Harding finding his way past the first tackler. It's good working of the ball that from Christchurch. Two men in a better position than themselves, but this might have been another turnover.
Geez, I think very, very unlucky at their decision there. Hands in the ruck. Referees deemed that it was okay and there was daylight. Christchurch Boys going to have to be careful with their running. They're running straight towards the big boys of Paarl Boys, and I think they need to move the ball around a little bit more and maybe create a little bit more variety in their attack and not be too predictable.
I think that's an intention. I get that feeling just watching what they're trying to do. But of course you've got to judge a tricky win too. You've got to make sure that you're standing close enough to the ball catcher.
We've mentioned George Harding at centre a couple of times now. The ability to break the line. Just need to get somebody on his shoulder and be able to put one of the quicker boys away.
So we just got a little hold up at the moment for not quite sure what it is. One of the players just getting a little bit of attention.
Christchurch Boys also relying on their captain heavily, Louis Chapman. He's the most capped player, I think just over 40 caps for the school, quite a bit at secondary school level, and also played for the New Zealand secondary school B team, so he's an experienced campaigner running the ship for them.
Yeah, well, 40 caps at school level is a lot of caps. Just the blend of youth and experience, well, not youth, but experience, can be quite vital in key games like this. They know that they are in a big match here against South Africa's Premier Rugby School. And it's going to be a penalty here, and they just lost the leverage and the opportunities that they had there, Christchurch, so might be a kick downfield from Simon Carsten now.
They'll be disappointed with that inaccuracy. It was a great opportunity inside Paarl Boys 22. Regroup now, defensive line out for them.
So decent enough touch finder there.
Paarl Boys started with a hiss and a roar, and have also settled now into the game and looking for the next team to take that real momentum and ascendancy.
Well, one of the things that they have got is a very solid set piece in terms of scrums and lineouts, which is a great platform to have, of course. There's Trent Siverson, who's a super all-round rugby player. He, of course, does the goal kicking too. And he might just have got himself into a fix here. Paarl Boys are unable to get that. Well, now it comes out. Carsten waiting at fly half. And that's a lovely little pop pass there. Paarl Boys are always looking to do things at absolute pace if they can. Was that a forward pass would be the question. And yep.
Well called by the assistant referee there, helping out the referee and not unsure if it was forward or not.
Yeah, he's got the message from the AR and made the call. Well, let's just see what happens here. We are not microphoned to the referees, so we're not privy to what they're discussing, but the assistant referee has been called onto the field now to talk to the referee. Maybe it's just for verification of that pass going forward. Quite often when this is the case, it could be unlawful play that's being discussed. Referee Judiswini needs to be very, very clear. Get the message. Now he's called, I think, for number 7. No, it's going to be a yellow card. And that's René van Rensburg, who's been asked to leave the field. So a yellow card for him, which is not going to do his team any favours at all. But eagle eyes, of course, on the rugby field. You've got the assistant referees and everybody helping your cause. So it'll be a penalty here, and it's right up against the touchline. So not too much that Callum Moody can do with it. He's made sure of his touch.
Christchurch Boys again need to be accurate at line-out time. They were heavily contested against the Paarl Boys.
They don't seem to necessarily have the tall guns in their armoury.
Yeah, timing also not great there between the jumper lifters and the thrower as well.
This is a brilliant kick, that. And, you know, again, Simon Carsten knows this field inside out. He knows the wind, the traditional wind that blows in that bottom right-hand corner is where his coaching staff have told him to make sure that we play down there. Well, they've got the wind at their backs.
Yeah, it was touched as well, so it's now an attacking line out. Nice try, Paarl Boys, but the referee is too smart for you.
Oh, that's brilliant play. That's been stolen by Paarl Boys high. Van der Sant now. Carsten quickly through the hands. Now this man is a real difficult nut to crack. Evan Roos, he's a big strong fella at number 8. Van der Sant decides to go the other way. That's clever play from them. It's opened up space for them now, and they've butchered it, have Paarl Boys high.
Yeah, desperate tackle there, but fantastic tackle to make right on your line there as well. Showing a lot of courage on the big boy. Paarl Boys showing now that they have a lot of confidence in their set pieces, as was mentioned, and gives them the confidence to kick the ball out, knowing that they have a very good chance of contesting it as well, and gaining all of that territory at the same time.
It's a desperately important scrum this for Christchurch. They've got to be able to stand their man here. And then the difficulty is your exit strategy from here. Do they carry it up? The in-goal area is not massive, so you can have people chasing at you.
7-on-7 as well because of the yellow card.
So
it's the clean hook and clean ball from the back for the 9.
So the call is to carry it. Ollie Lewis having to do the necessaries, and they've won the penalty here, so that's big relief that for Christchurch. Just the 3 points in the match at the moment.
And George Harding carrying strong off the line there, creating an opportunity for all of the Christchurch Boys to get behind him and secure the ball.
That's Cullen Moody's kick, and I don't think that's going to go out. Kept in field. Basic error that from Christchurch. They don't want to be in a situation where you've got a couple of speedsters running at you. And one of them is Duplessis from the back. And again is that kick towards that corner flag. Home advantage.
The benefit of Christchurch playing the way they are at the moment is there'll be some notes taken at half time, and some smart play and coaching would suggest that they may get some of their own in the second half.
Well, it certainly works. There's no question about it. It is one of those wins, and the way the field is structured, that's actually what happens.
The Christchurch Boys having a successful line out there, which was great, and referee deeming that the player was interfered with in the air.
So Louis Chapman has got the ball in hand, but he'll give it to Cullen Moody. So this time try and make sure that he gets it out. So should have no problem with that. So back to right about the 10-metre line we go, and opposition territory for Christchurch.
We'll see what Christchurch do now. They know Paarl Boys will contest all of their line-out, so they're going to shorten their line-out or look to vary it. A little bit difficult in this wind, and they may have to throw to 6 in the line-out.
Well, that's half the issue is having to go to the back of the line-out because they're struggling in the front and the middle. But of course the wind makes it really difficult. Now here comes Lewis. Of course George Harding has been a real handful already in this match for Paarl Boys High in the outside centre position, or right centre we should call him. Well, the whistle is blowing perhaps a little too frequently for the like of the Doyens of rugby.
Referee saying the tackle was high across the shoulders there or the neck, and anything above the shoulder at all is deemed to be a dangerous tackle. Player welfare.
So, question time. Well, the call for a scrum. How about that?
Interesting decision.
Yeah, it's a very positive decision, one's got to say, because the scrum is a great attacking platform if you get things right. And you've seen already the likes of George Harding and Ollie Lewis, really strong runners.
Some smart tactics being played here and forcing Christchurch Boys to go to areas they don't want to, whether it's in the line out or making them carry back into some of the bigger tacklers from Paarl Boys as well, and they're going to need to work around those things.
Certainly no problem with that scrum. Brilliant scrum from them. And then from the fullback position, we haven't seen Hughes in the game as of yet. Manages to keep that ball in field. The net result is they're pretty much back where they started. But if you've got enough patience, don't worry. As long as you hold on to the ball.
The quality of that breakdown from Paarl Boys is impressive, putting a lot of pressure on Christchurch.
And they've turned it over too. Over the top from Van der Sant. Oh, Christchurch from the right wing. It's amazing when the wind is blowing, how quickly you can find yourself back in your 22.
Opportunity over the top as well with...
No, there was no one at home at the back there.
The winger up.
So one of Paarl Boys' high players down at the moment. Now Duplessis, a good stepper is Duplessis, son of former Springbok Paarl Duplessis, former Springbok coach as well, Paarl Duplessis for a period. Christchurch again fighting really hard to win some ball if they can, and they got some numbers here now. Excellent play from them. Down the line they go. This could be an interesting chase. George Harding, we've seen the strength of the man.
Yeah, a disappointing final result there after all the hard work. George Harding had a runner on his shoulder at that stage. Perhaps a little bit more communication and using that support play.
Good positive play then by Christchurch, opening the game up, and some very good handling of the ball too. A little bit of off the ball, yeah, from a couple of players, but I understand just how tense this game could be for both of these
frustration creeping in as well with things not going to both sides' plans, and it's how they now move forward from here.
I think you also want to come to a tournament, don't you, Wayne, and say, well, you know, we had a 50% record of victories. You don't want to say we didn't win any games. How many did you play? Well, we only played 2. There's big number 8, worse again. Even worse.
He's made a real impression with the ball in hand.
In fact, so have many other number 8s during the course of this tournament. We've seen some excellent play from, well, loose forward play generally speaking, but a lot of very good number 8s.
Yeah, we've seen in from a variety of skill sets as well. Some of the bigger number 8s and some not quite as big, but with great skills and agility and speed.
So referee Judd Sweeney just explaining to Louis Chaplin there the situation at the breakdowns. And again, I think sometimes breakdown interpretation, Wayne Taylor, is a little different in South Africa to what it is for you guys. And the understanding of what you can do or perhaps what you can't do. I mean, your efficiencies in breakdown, I think, are well known and have always been over the years.
Yeah, I agree. And with the likes of Super Rugby or International Rugby, the referees that are involved here would brief the coaching staff so everybody's working off the same sheet of music. And unfortunately, when you come to a tournament like this, you have to adapt very quickly to how the referee rules the game. And he's made his intentions very clear at the breakdown, and Christchurch Boys need to alter accordingly, although they've turned some over, and it's probably been about 50-50 both ways now in the team. Game.
But I think that's part of the learning experience too, that they need to get used to. Oh, that's a brilliant kick, and it's going to be a throw in this to Paarl Boys high too, so it's exactly what Christchurch didn't want.
again, pinpoint accuracy, using that wind, knowing exactly what you can and can't do here.
Well, no time wasted with the throw into the line out too. Now, can they get that set right and then the drive over the line? We've seen them do it before. We've seen it from a number of South African teams. Here they come. Can they fly that over the line? The referee's got his arm out at the moment. No try, but a penalty. So second opportunity. They might just pop it out and try exactly the same thing again.
Not sure what he ruled there. He's playing advantage for a penalty against Christchurch Boys.
Yes, he was.
Possibly in the drive coming in from an offside position or from the side.
So another opportunity, this time a bit further back, but Christchurch have taken it away. It's a great victory for them, and we talk about small victories. We've been talking about them all day. So change here for Paarl Boys High. Interesting change for them too, with Armin Postumus coming on as a replacement for the fly half Simon Carsten. And number 7 is back on off the naughty chair. So it's 15 against 15. I'm just wondering if Simon Carsten's maybe battling with an injury, that he's been replaced in this game. And Postumus taking his place.
Yeah, Christchurch seem to be growing in confidence here as well with both set phases. They just contested a line out there, taking it off Paarl Boys, and able to secure a good ball from the scrum there again, using Harding, their big strong centre, to bring the ball out in front of the post.
Fair pressure there on Colin Moody, but he hasn't kicked this out. Taken on the right wing there by Carlos, and good effort to set up the next phase of play. First touch then for the new man, Armin Postumus.
Great hit there coming in from number 8, Cameron Henderson there with Christchurch Boys.
Van der Sant. One thing Paarl Boys have done well is they've got some real armory in the midfield to carry the ball up for these breakdown points. Now quickly through the hands, Du Plessis. Neat little stepping on that occasion from Van der Merwe. So the referee wants to talk to number 5. This is going to be another yellow card. Yeah, well, it's not number 5, it's number 4 who's going to have to leave the field, and that's Mitch Hay with a yellow card, and it's a great disappointment in many ways because as we know and we've discussed it so often, cards really just do upset the game of rugby. Nevertheless, it's still only 3 points to 0 for Paarl Boys High. Got the win pretty much at their back. Christchurch hanging on in this first half. They don't want to give away any points, but Paarl Boys High desperate for some more points.
Making it very difficult for Christchurch Boys. They're losing one of their main line-out jumpers to contest. Paarl Boys with a good control here and set up a nice drive.
So they've got the pick-up now, and it's big number 8, Woers, who goes for the line and gets over. Not a surprise. He's been very evident as the big number 8 and got the first try of the match.
Now, Ewan Roos, we've mentioned on a number of occasions, he's a big, strong man, runs straight, very hard to put down. And that close to the line, he's going to take a big tackle to be able to deny him the try. You can see here, there's been good control. We're playing advantage here for an illegal entry on the side of the maul. Roos taking the ball strong here. Still had a lot of work to do. Going to take a lot of stopping that close to the line.
Wonderful finish there by the big number 8. Well, Trent Sivertson has got a rather difficult conversion into the teeth of the wind from the touchline.
It's definitely not the first time that he's had to worry about this breeze and his goal kicking, so
he's grown up in this wind.
Yeah, the whole team seem to know they've got the ball on a string right here now. So
intense concentration from Trent Sivertson. Given it a good whack, and it's just not going to come around. It's not a bad effort that from the centre three-quarter. Just to mention too that Simon Costin, who went off, has apparently got a little leg niggle, and hence replaced by Armin Posthumus in the fly half position for Paarl Boys High.
So 30 minutes and 5 minutes short of half time, 8-0 to Paarl Boys, and Christchurch Boys with the opportunity to restart.
Well, it's been a good contest up to now, one's got to say too, and it's brilliant to see two premier schools of respective countries, South Africa and New Zealand. So, good work there from George Harding. Carry coming there from Cameron Henderson. Equally a big number 8 too. Quickly through the hands, and once again it's George Harding just almost getting into the little half gap. Well,
yeah, yet again we've mentioned that the opportunity, as soon as Paarl Boys see any daylight at all, they're going to contest the ball at the breakdown. A good decision by the referee, and those support runners and the link-ons are going to have to get a lot closer to the ball carrier and keep securing the ball.
So Posthumus now with that kick downfield and making 100% sure of his touch finder. It's a very, very good kick that, given the wind situation.
Very difficult for Christchurch Boys to contest this now, losing one of their main jumpers. Do you think they'll stay down or possibly push to the back?
Cullen van der Merwe with a throw in there, and take from Adrian Alberts, their captain. And that ball's been lost now, so referee looking to see if there's any advantage to be played for. From the full back position, Max Hughes. And the solitary lock that's left on the field there, doing his bit, Sam Taylor. Well, I guess there's also some glances at the clock just to see how far we are with this first half. Just a couple of minutes left.
Definitely not a smile on the coach of the Christchurch Boys, Rhys Archibald there. He's obviously frustrated and wanting the opportunity to speak to his players at half-time.
Yeah, and as you said a bit earlier, Wayne, there's also the discussion around tactics for the second half. How best they play this wind, how best they can utilise perhaps the boot of Callum Moody to keep them down in Paarl Boys High territory.
One thing we definitely see coming out of the Crusaders region, which is where Christchurch Boys is from, is the hunger to counter-attack, knowing that's one of the best opportunities to score points.
So out from Chapman.
Opportunity out wide here. Some communication. Defenders getting pulled out for Paarl Boys now.
Yeah, maybe it wasn't the best decision there to take that in. Good work there from Paraneri. Chapman brings his fly off into play, and then the big fellows in midfield, but there's some solid defence there from Paarl Boys High. Well, a fair amount of possession coming the way from the men from New Zealand at the moment. Pretty difficult to get out of their half of the field, but it's been turned over. Well, we've seen a number of turnovers in this first half. That's an interesting one. The referee has just completely ignored that.
Trying to force for the offside penalty there with the
absolutely 100% right too. I just don't agree with that. Referee, right decision. Now the long pass to the right wing. Duplessis not finding a way through, but the flag's up and somebody stepped into touch.
Yeah, good defence by Christchurch Boys there. They're communicating better, marking up on their men. making it very hard for Paarl Boys now to come through.
Well, that's Trent Sivertson there, who's just seems to have taken somebody stood on his. And 10 minutes yellow card is a long time in a 35-minute half, isn't it? That's why I just.
Yeah, smart play by Christchurch there, knowing they don't have a jumper and their Paarl Boys are going to contest in both positions in the line-out.
And that long pass now, and just 30 seconds left in this first half. So, do Paarl Boys High now look within those 30 seconds to try and get a 7-pointer, or do they take the penalty opportunity?
The support player from Christchurch Boys there, just coming in and sealing off over the top of the ball carrier rather than staying on his feet and supporting his own body weight.
So Posthumous will kick it into the corner. That's what they're looking for now, is to try and get another 7-pointer if at all possible.
Paarl Boys sense that hunger, they want extra points before half time, and Christchurch Boys going to have to work hard to deny them.
Well, we've seen how well it worked previously. Again, it's at the back there. Russ is a big fella. If he manages to get hold of that ball and charge at the line. But at the moment, it's the unit themselves as they try to get over. Van der Sun. Man running straight is Sivertson.
Outstanding tackle there by Sean McKinnon.
And have they managed to hold on to it? Well, yeah, it comes Paarl Boys Highway. This is desperate time, this, because it's the one thing Churchill don't want is to give away a 5-pointer now. And, well, was that ball knocked on? Yes, it was. So that should be half-time. And so it is, with Paarl Boys High then leading by those 8 points to 0, courtesy of a penalty and a single try. There's our confirmation. Brook Street and the Oakland World Schools Festival. It comes to an end with this final match that's being played here. Paarl Boys High 8, Christchurch Boys High 0.
And also equally with teams from Australia, America, Italy, Argentina, and it's been fantastically supported by the locals here in South Africa.
Yeah, and it makes it a true world event too, having boys from all over the world. So Posthumous gets the second half underway with a very deep kick in. And it's all about tactics perhaps in this second half too. What are the tactics going to be of the respective teams?
Yeah, Harding there at 13 for Christchurch Boys has been a real handful for Paarl. He just needs to maybe concentrate on his timing a little bit more and put his wingers away on the outside rather than dying with the ball.
He certainly does back himself when he's running. Paarl Boys High, we've seen Evan Roos, who had a very good first half at number 8 there, just carrying that ball in. Van der Sant, now Du Plessis. He's got a good step on him and it's good support play too, with Van der Sant coming into the mix there, the little scrum half. An early score here would do Paarl Boys High a huge amount of good, and they've done just that. Excellent score there after the stroke of half-time.
Paarl Boys started the game in exactly the same manner and have come out off their half-time break and done exactly the same again. Christchurch Boys showing some intent to run the ball out of their 22 and just not accurate enough, and offering the opportunity again for Paarl Boys to be on attack. You can see here some good ball retention. Pick and go. Again, the Paarl Boys very, very close in securing their ball. No opportunity for Christchurch Boys. And then just some strong play, offload, and a simple try. Support play from Paarl Boys has been superior, and their ball retention, securing at the breakdown.
Yeah, we go back to that kickoff and we just wonder if the opportunity didn't present itself for a very, very big kick downfield. Christchurch looking to rather carry the ball in their 22.
As we said, and you heard in the break, that Christchurch Boys has a very strong affiliation with a number of All Blacks and Crusaders players, and they're renowned for wanting to counter-attack and take the opportunity of not having formed defences that you would get at set phase. It needs to be done accurately, otherwise just causing additional pressure.
That's a wonderful conversion from Trent Sivertson. Very, very difficult situation in this wind. to convert those, and he's done just that. So it's a more substantial lead now for Paarl Boys High with those 15 points.
Now the ability for Christchurch Boys to kick into the wind and hold up and have the opportunity to contest.
It's a pretty good kick in that. I think it might have been knocked on. So the referee playing advantage. Over the top it goes from the try scorer, Van der Sant. That might be one of their tactics too, is to keep the ball in front of their forwards, courtesy of their scrum half, who's got a very educated boot. There we go. That's exactly what you got to do.
Great positioning from Paarl Boys there, knowing exactly what's going to happen with that ball. And pressure from Christchurch Boys and forcing the kick.
So are we going to see a game of two halves as far as territory is concerned?
Very cliche that.
It is a cliche, but it's a true one. It's a very, very vital one when it comes to tactical play.
Yeah, Paarl Boys not only just wise at using the wind in the first half, but also knowing exactly what to expect from their opposition and defence.
The referee's got his arm out at the moment. Chapman waiting for the delivery from the breakdown. There's his kick. Well, it's not the best of kicks, but he knows that he was playing advantage, so here's an opportunity for them to kick it into the corner.
Yeah, warning coming here for Paarl Boys. He's asking for a clear release at the breakdown. There must be daylight between the tackler and the ball carrier before the ball can be contested again.
Javier Farmer's gone down on the left wing for Paarl Boys High. Now they've decided they're going to take a little short one here and use the power of George Harding, who wasn't able to make enough meterage there. And yet another penalty.
Paarl Boys will need to be careful here with the repeat offence. Possible yellow card, the same as the first half.
Referee Jodaswini will also show consistency in that respect, so that's a very fair comment.
I'm liking the way that he's ruling at the breakdown as well, and making sure that there's an open game and not able to slow down and kill the ball at the breakdown, which means that their quick recycling leaves holes in the defence and the opportunity.
So throw-in time now for Paraneri. Got his complement of players back onto the field, of course, and Campbell with the catch on that occasion. That ball going a little bit astray. The referee playing advantage to Paarl Boys High.
Great opportunity out to the right for Paarl Boys High if they can shift this ball.
Yeah, if they're brave enough to run it from there. They've decided they'll kick it downfield. And that's another knock on.
Paranihi just looking up there at the oncoming tackler, and
so Paarl Boys High will just want to settle down now. Ask Siverson to kick them into a better position than they're in.
Yeah, Paranihi realising he was in a little bit of trouble there with a knock on and not releasing the ball and giving the opportunity for Paarl Boys to attack. And his team were pretty disorganised on defence.
So Posthumous, in fact, was the kicker there to touch. Just a little tap of the hand there. Apologies to his fellow players. Well, the lineouts really have been exemplary when it comes to Paarl Boys High. We've used Adrian Alberts in particular, and he's been an absolute yeoman as far as that's concerned. Here's Duplessis with his stepping.
It's been a handful all day with his agility and speed, explosive speed off the mark.
So big tackles have to be made by Christchurch. They're lining up here, the Paarl Boys High back line, ready to take on Churchill if they can. Posthumous. Nice little step there from the fly half too. And he's gone and lost it forward.
The advantage for Paarl Boys was only for a scrum advantage, and you have an opportunity on the right hand side here for Christchurch Boys. A lovely kick through.
It's an excellent kick. It's going to be a penalty there for a late tackle. Referee just looking at his assistant referee.
Potentially an opportunity for a card here. There's been a couple of warnings already in this half.
So there's a choice of a penalty here or a scrum down there.
You would suggest that Christchurch Boys would sway towards the scrum rather than the line out and take a really good opportunity to attack or from within the 22 of Paarl Boys.
I wonder if this is going to be another team warning. There's the kick through, there's the tackle, which will be deemed late. And now the referee having another chat to the assistant. Oh no, he's not having a chat to him. He says, just make sure I'm properly wired, please. Of course, that communication is between the referee and his 2 assistant referees. Chapman there, the man in picture, captain of Churchill, and asked for the scrum.
Yeah, an important scrum now. We have 8 on both sides and a fair contest. Remembering that they can only push a maximum of 1.5 meters and can only turn 45 degrees either way, just for the safety of the players. Ideally, Christchurch Boys want a quick hook here, nice and clean from the base of the scrum. Giving the opportunity for a nice setup here off 10.
So that's gone through your 45 degrees, so they'll reset. Like we saw there on those stats there, the territory and possession belonging pretty much to Paarl Boys high as things stand at the moment. It's amazing how quickly this game can change. So can the referee find a little bit of steadiness here? Once again it goes through that 45.
I'm not a specialist scrum coach there, but it's rather messy and doesn't look like there's a lot of intent for both sides to stay straight, and it's just slowing the game down. Referee's obviously going to be looking a lot closer on the next one, looking for a bind and also for the intent of both sides to see who is trying to turn the scrum.
Yeah, I think that's the key. Well, it's probably, the feeling might be it's more on the defensive scrum, and that there's a deliberate wheeling of that scrum. Well, that's a great shot, isn't it? Saw himself on the screen, took out the gum guard and gave a decent smile. Hey, Mum, I'm on TV. Chapman. Chapman's got the opportunity there of getting those backs underway. Harding brought into picture, and here's a chance now for Christchurch. They've got over the line.
I think it may have been Max Hughes coming there. Just need to check a number. Yeah, Max Hughes with a try there. Fantastic. Started off with a great run through the middle there from replacement Tahuka. Christchurch should be happy with that. They needed some points on the board. Here we see now a beautiful pass off the base of the scrum. Straight line there from Tahuka, and a very quickly recycled ball, so Paarl Boys didn't have time to regroup.
Twice Ollie Lewis was part of that mix as well, and there's the little fullback flying through on the inside. He hasn't really had an opportunity to show his paces yet in this tournament. Max Hughes at fullback.
And Harding showing us what he's capable of and running straight, and this time getting a nice pass away to his outside, which we were looking for earlier on in the game.
We're going to see a pile of replacements coming on pretty shortly for Christchurch as they get ready. But in the meanwhile, all eyes on Ollie Lewis. Tough conversion this for the centre three-quarter, but an important one.
Moved into fly half now to take over from Cullen Moody.
And it's a great kick that from Ollie Lewis. Gets the additional 2 points and keeps Christchurch in the game.
Important now for Christchurch to secure this ball and get a clean exit out of their 22 or out of their half and get pressure back down again on Paarl Boys.
So a pile of replacements come on then for Christchurch. And a nice little clap for those players coming off the field from their bench.
The referee's all sorted and has his communication back online again.
Posthumous, a nice hanging kick that. opportunity for Alberts to catch it, but it's gone forward.
It's the second time we've seen that today. It's unfortunate knock on off Paarl and taken an offside position by another player. It's more a reaction than a decision, and still a penalty all the same.
So Ollie Lewis with the penalty, and it looks like he's got a pretty educated boot for an inside centre.
Just over 20 minutes to go. We're looking for some real aggression and punch now to come in from Christchurch Boys. They need something to put them back on the map very, very quickly and put some pressure on Paarl Boys.
Tap down from Paarl Boys high. That might have been a knock on too from Posthumous. Yep, the referee's picked it up, so it'll be a scrum this to Christchurch.
You just sense the Christchurch Boys got a little bit excited and realised that they could get back in the game quite quickly with some more aggressive defence and a little bit more hunger on the ball.
And I think also the confidence factor when you're playing in the opposition half of the field for the majority of the time, I think that just elevates it a little bit. And with the wind as it's been, they are likely to spend a fair bit of time down in this part of the world.
Yeah, exactly. And if they can trap Paarl Boys back in their half and the Kiwis can get excited on attack, then we've got a real game on our hands.
The scrums are posing some challenges here for Zwingele, Jadazweni.
I think we may have had a little knock on there.
Yeah.
From Lewis Chapman.
No, it's a turn of from the sun to put that in. So he's got Big Evan Roos at number 8 there with a potential pick-up and carry.
Yeah, scrums have been messy from both sides. We haven't seen a nice clean contest there.
He's Roos, and he really is quite a handful, isn't he? Trying to bring him down. It might have been a turnover too for Christchurch. It is 2. Chapman waiting for it now.
Space them behind if they can look the wingers up and nobody's home.
And again, the importance of utilising the boot in that situation. And maybe Ollie Lewis has just got to keep his eyes on this deep corner here and the opportunity to kick it downfield.
Yeah, there was the opportunity for Louis Chapman there from the base of the scrum to put the ball over the top and turn Paarl Boys around. The winger was up and the opportunity was there. Just needs a bit of communication from his winger to make him aware that the opportunity is there for him to put over the top and the winger can chase. It's become a little bit predictable where they're going to run everything out of their half, and makes it easier for Paarl Boys to make decisions on defence.
Set pieces have been really solid today from Paarl Boys high. Their scrums and their line outs. Here comes Duplessis. Nice little offload from him as well, and it's a huge tackle. It might have been a high tackle, so it was. So the referee again having a word with his assistant referee. And,
yeah, the referee just had a chat to him there. There was definitely a high tackle, no malice or intent in it, but a penalty all the same.
Yeah, I was just getting a little concerned that we might have had another card, because we don't need any more yellow cards in this match.
Yeah, very difficult when a yellow card's given out early in the game for I wouldn't say a minor infringement, but something that's a technicality, and he has to continue on with that throughout the game.
Deep throwing on this occasion. Paarl Boys high. Their lineouts working really efficiently, and also the opportunities for their maul. And away they come with it now. But no opportunity of getting through there. Now, Van der Son looking for the big guns to carry it up. Evan Roos inevitably is often part of that mix, but it's going to be a put-in here for Christchurch. And I tell you what, I'm sure that there's a fair bit of clapping amongst their side, winning that scrum down.
Yeah, Christchurch Boys great on defence there, and just seeing the energy in them to make sure that they're setting themselves up on defence as quick as possible and getting off the line and coming up and making a hit, forcing the turnover. Got options now with defensive scrum or an attacking scrum in their own 22. They're going to use the wind and put it downtown, or they're looking out for width and the opportunity to run the ball.
You haven't really got anybody in a kicking position right now, so it's more carrying the ball that they'd wish to do. But that's good wide running from them now, and some real pace here from the fullback position. Good support play too. Now where the extra players? Oh, they've gone and butchered it. There were 2 men on the outside, and if they could have just got it through their hands, it might have worked in their favour. But that's a good scramble defence then from Paarl Boys High. Posthumous standing in the fly half position. He hasn't kicked this out. Another chance now. The ball's gone backwards, so no problem with it. Max Hughes.
The Christchurch Boys making the intentions very clear. There's no want from them to kick at all. They want the ball in hand and they want to play. And they have to have a lot better ball retention than that against the big boys of the Paarl side.
There was a knock on, so the referee going to come back for that.
Yeah, the ruck's becoming very messy now.
George Harding in possession at the moment. Chapman.
And the Paarl Boys trying to call out defenders as well. Their defence is very narrow.
Oh, a little chip kick through, but the touchline's going to be the winner there. I just wonder sometimes as well, from Christchurch's perspective, Max Hughes at the fullback, in the fullback position, he's got terrific pace, and he really doesn't seem to have been part of the play enough in this match to have posed a threat.
Yeah, I think perhaps at half-time there was a chat with George Harding as well, who's made some fantastic breaks, and just trying to get him to draw on that defender and create opportunities for the back three that he's got around him.
Again, a great driving ball this from Paarl Boys High. Still they go, they've kept it upright, they've kept it going forward, done a really good job with it, and they've got a penalty.
Yeah, the rucks and mauls have become very messy now, and the referee needs to tidy these up.
15.5 minutes left of this match, and it's a little on a knife edge at the moment. 8 points the difference, so the Christchurch Boys know in their heads, of course, that they've got to score twice without reply to win this match.
Paarl Boys now be deciding on, would suggest they're looking to try and drive from here and draw in as many of the Christchurch Boys as they can before they have a look at opportunities out wide.
Unchallenged in the line out. Posthumous picks it up off his toes, did really well with it. Some good straight running there, but it was a wayward pass, so we've got another unforced error and yet another scrum.
Yeah, some good rush defence there from Christchurch Boys, putting pressure on and forcing Paarl Boys to pass well behind the advantage line. Got a little bit of niggle now with the forwards having words with each other. If Kempo was here, he'd be getting excited now.
Yeah, so he would. Well, he gets excited every time he sees a scrum down. So what would the rugby be without scrums?
Yeah,
I said to him, the game would be a lot quicker.
He's reliving his youth. Yeah, good scrum from Paarl Boys. They're putting the pressure on and trying to deny a clean ball for Christchurch.
So Ollie Lewis, we were talking about with Max Hughes coming in, creating the extra man there in the line out, in the back line.
Max Hughes' timing very good coming into the line and being a genuine threat.
So fun to some that ball thrown in quickly, but the throw-in is going to belong to Paarl Boys High because it touched someone's hand.
Max Hughes may have caught that and stepped into touch, and consequently it's now a line out for Paarl Boys. On a number of occasions we've seen Harding come in as a decoy runner with the opportunity to bring Hughes in instead, and smart football.
It's another great line out there from Paarl Boys. Just they've got their set so quickly as well around the ball catcher as he comes down, and still they keep driving it upfield. And away they come with it.
Yeah, strong and well organised.
Lewis forced to make a very important tackle.
Yeah, just unlucky there with a knock on. The Paarl Boys as was said, have been very, very strong in set piece. They managed to stay on their feet all of the time, and often the only way can be stopped is with collapsing, which will result in a penalty. But they've just broken away there and knocked the ball on and let Christchurch off the hook. And again, Christchurch back in their 22, and we've questioned whether they'll kick their way out and use the wind, but...
Well, you've made the suggestion a few times and they're not interested.
No, but I'm loving the way they're running the ball, though. So, if you're looking at defence now, the Paarl Boys are relatively narrow in their defence, and
so has that ball been retained? Yes, it has. Chapman with it now. Long pass there from Ollie Lewis. That's a lovely ball that to the fullback, getting inside now, and some good support play, some good support runners. Here's a bit of pace too on the right wing.
Need quick ball here. Paarl Boys are struggling to get back on defence, and need quick ball.
Well, it's a change of ownership of that ball with Paarl Boys High coming away with it. On the Sant decides he'll kick over the top. That's a very good kick from him, except it's gone directly into touch. The intention was good. There was a lot of space open there for that kick to land in.
Yeah, as you said, Gavin, very unfortunate. It was the right decision and would have been a great kick if it had been another metre just inside.
So a couple more changes with Paarl Boys High bringing on two of their men, and also a great opportunity for them to have a run here in this final game of this wonderful tournament that we've had here in Paarl.
Yeah, just sense with the running at the moment and the lack of breaks in play that Paarl need a few fresh legs in their forward pack just to bring a bit of energy. And again, the inaccuracy at line-out time has cost Christchurch Boys some tidy ball for them to operate off.
And so almost the full bench is now being brought onto the field. Last ditch opportunity for all of the players. Paarl Boys High have got a man down at the moment, so just waiting to see what happens and whether he'll be able to continue.
Compete new front row for Christchurch Boys as well, and they'll be wanting to put some pressure on here and see if they can't get a tight hit on the ball.
So Neil Fenter takes over the scrum half position for Paarl Boys High from the Sant. One of the changes that's been made, and just a little 10-minute run for him. Can he be influential? We see that so often too, that you get a replacement who comes on and just becomes the catalyst for something happening. Maybe it's the fresh legs, new energy, or maybe just sheer luck. Here comes Ruas.
Ruas again, a handful.
Oh, he is such a handful.
Christchurch Boys very quick onto the ball and turned it over with another opportunity for counter-attack.
So Russ has got to defend with one boot at the moment. But here they go. Paarl Boys High have got that ball now. And who's the speedster that can come through? Well, that's great scramble defence there from Christchurch Boys High, when we thought that it was all over. But still they come then in the form of Horn.
Still opportunities out wide here for Paarl Boys if they can move this ball out to the left.
So they wait for it. Now the drive again. Once again trying to use the power of their pack of forwards. But they're going to come back for the penalty there for that ball being sealed off by the Christchurch.
The referee deeming that this player from Christchurch Boys has come straight in over the top of the ball and tried to seal it off, which he must have put his body weight.
Just a bit of an explanation there given to Lee Chapman in terms of exactly what went wrong, and Posthumous now making sure that he's got it into touch. This line out of Paarl Boys High has been an excellent one tonight. They've used different options. The throw-ins have been accurate, and some of the drives off that line out have been excellent too. no doubt that's something they're going to look to do, to try and take that over the line now if they can. And they certainly are within sight, and they are over.
Yeah, a fantastic try there to Paarl Boys. It's been their strength all day, their line out, their drive, and they're close to the line. It's a money ball for them. Well earned. Well done.
So Cullen for them over. He's onto the board, and it's the third try then for Paarl Boys High.
Here we see the line out here, taken well in the middle of the line out and quickly set up, move to the back. Nice and patient with it as well, not allowing to be dragged down. And then once across the line, good communication.
I think we might be a little bit surprised at the percentage of tries that are scored by hookers from lineouts. There's always the last man to join in at the back as the ball moves there, and they're the ones to put it down. Of course, they're saying, well, we started it all, so we want to finish it off as well.
I think Big Bismarck Duplessis might have created a bit of a trend there.
He did too.
Oh, he was outstanding at it as well, and strong, and his ability to control at the back of the maul. So Sean Fitzpatrick was more renowned for being out on the wing and scoring in the corner, and very good at it.
The opportunity for another 2 points, and off the upright. Still, it's 13 points. It's still 2 scores away for Churchill with
Christchurch.
Did I say Churchill again? I got into a bad habit here. My apologies.
I'm just fixing it up so I can go home and the guys will still speak to me.
Yeah. Christchurch have really entered into the battle here today, but at the moment the battle is not won by them yet. It looks like it's going to be won by Paarl Boys High. Unless something dramatic happens with just another 5 minutes or so left.
Yeah, knock on both ways there. First one by Paarl Boys, so it's a put into the scrum for Christchurch, and later opportunities for them now with 5 minutes left on the clock. Come a long way for this game. They will be wanting to finish on a positive, and there'll be no kicking of the ball now. It'll be running, and with clear intention that they want 14 points to win this game.
I reckon they'd look at their tour, when maybe, and you'd want to judge this as well as a New Zealander. They've had 2 games. This is a definite improvement on their last effort.
Yeah, definitely. And they were disappointed in their first performance, even though they played probably the team of the tournament. And they wanted to go out and put another good performance out here, especially with the feeling a bit fresher as well once they settled as a team. And as we've mentioned on a number of occasions, the heat played a big part on Tuesday and Wednesday, which was very hard on the players and took its toll on them.
And of course their draw was not an easy one either.
No, it wasn't, and I had a chat again with Rhys Archibald, their head coach, and they didn't come all this way just to play a game of rugby. If you're going to come to South Africa, you want to play the best that you can at the tournament, and that's the learning experience, and the guys have done outstandingly against 2 of the best here.
Ollie Lewis. Back inside McHughes. Nice running from him. He's got lovely feet. And just, as I said earlier, it's a pity he didn't get himself involved in the game a little bit earlier, or the opportunities presented themselves for him.
Yeah, and to go with his footwork, carrying the ball in both hands and creating a lot of doubt and deception, and just a handling area there, just giving the opportunity for Paarl Boys. And also have opportunities out wide if they can move the ball here.
Well, maybe it's got something to do with the wind, but the ball has certainly been kept in a little bit closer in on many occasions. There's big Evan Roos again. And men lining up out wide, but again, the ball doesn't move through the hands.
Nice recycled ball, nice and quickly, not giving the defence any time to get organised.
Now, quickly down through the hands. Duplessis with a little step on the inside and a little step on the outside, finds a man in a better position than him. Good play that by the fullback. Well, again, there's a reluctance to move it through the hands. but they've still held on to the possession importantly. That's good work, that good presentation of the ball, and then it just comes flying out to an unsuspecting man.
Yeah, I was about to say great ball retention and building of phases by Paarl Boys, and then just unfortunate to fire out to an unsuspecting man there. Now just over 2 minutes left on the clock, and it's been a great game and a great matchup. We're seeing some of the Christchurch boys just stretching out in the back line there, and a reflection of the running they've done today rather than kicking the ball and wanting to move it to score the points and create opportunities against the run of play.
I think Reece du Plessis is going to leave the field. You could see the shaking of heads there, and and I think this is a wise decision. If he's not 100%, took a knock there when he went through. It's the beginning of the season. It's the end of the match. There's not a lot more that he can add at this point in time, and better for him to leave the field.
Yeah, smart decision there. When it comes to head injuries or suspected head injuries, it's one that we don't muck around with, and the player welfare comes first. It's easy if you've got blood, you can see what the damage is, but when it comes to a head, always precautionary.
That's a
great scrum there from Paarl Boys.
Brilliant scrum from them.
It's gone more than 45, and the referees let it get a little bit messy at scrum time, unfortunately.
So Lewis with a wide pass to Harding.
Harding again with great distribution there.
Well, it's been turned over, the possession there, sadly, for Christchurch, but here come Paarl Boys high now, with the men standing out wide, and an opportunity that's very sleight of hand, but I think that pass didn't go forward. Referee says continue playing. Penta. They've moved the ball well through their hands on occasions, have Paarl Boys high. Now Posthumous with a huge kick downfield.
Well, we know he's going to make a liar of me now, so we know he's not going to kick it, but didn't have too many other options.
He didn't have too many options, no. So penalty to Paarl Boys high. It's a quick take from them, but not from the designated spot. Oh dear, it's another yellow card. It's a yellow card with time up, and it's really quite unfortunate for Christchurch. It's not going to influence the outcome of the game, because this ball will be kicked into touch, and if there is a line out, that'll basically be the last play.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, and I think a lot of people don't understand that it's actually not at the discretion of the referee. He's a clear guideline, and if the tackle is high, he has no decision other than to give a yellow card, and that's the direction he's been given.
And it doesn't matter when in the game that happens either, if it is in the last minute.
Yeah, the viewers at home often get frustrated with the referees, but it's actually out of their control.
Yeah. Still another penalty that to Paarl Boys high, so the final whistle won't go until this period of play is complete. So looks like they're going to go for that line out and try and finish this with a real flourish. And I think it would be just reward for them if they did score a try from a line out, because the pack of forwards have done a really good job today.
Yeah, they have. They've been impressive, and including all the replacements that have come on and added energy to that pack as well. It just shows how well coached they are with the pack that's on there now, and they're able to repeat what was happening in the first half with the starting members.
There they go, held at the back there at the moment by the big man Evan Rusin. Isn't it just that he gets that try? He's had an exceptional match as the number 8.
Yeah, fantastic try from the number 8 there. He's had a great game. He's been influential right throughout the game.
And he scored 2 tries. So there we have it then. The good drive upfield there from the pack of forwards, egged on by their scrum half, and eventually it's Roos that comes to the far side, opens up and flies over in the corner. So this will be the final kick of the tournament then. Posthumous with a very tricky conversion right from the touchline. He's given it a fair whack, but it's not going to be straight, so that will be it then. And the final game then comes to an end. It's a victory for Paarl Boys High, and they'll feel very, very comfortable about the fact that they've got this victory, the solitary victory for them in this tournament. It is them that are hosting it, and they played good enough rugby in this match to make sure that they got the points that were needed. The Ryder Cup points, it's Tuju South Africa that are added to the mix, and right now the players will be just shaking hands and sharing thoughts with each other about the match, and generally about South Africa, I'm sure. So full time here at Brook Street then, Paarl Boys High 25, Christchurch Boys High 7.
If you appreciated this video, please don't forget to smash that like button, and if you have not yet, get with the program and click that subscribe button as well as bell notification. While you're here, if you're interested in more quality content, why not head over to our website, www.nextgen15.com. That's www.nextgenxv.com. Cheers.